Glad to be here, folks. We are live, running a couple minutes late. I do apologize for that, but hey, let's dig right into it. Hope, fill your cups, grab a pen and paper. We're going to have time for a roundtable at the end of this one. This is going to be a good day. Let's do this. Good morning, everybody. I hope you're feeling as good as I am. Good day. Good day. Really good day, I have to tell you. Normally, by the time I get the show ready to go, I've looked at so much crap. I'm in a pretty bad mood by the time the show starts. But actually, today, I'm feeling pretty damn good. Let's dig right into it. There's this... the right-wingers don't know how to get over their own racism. They don't know how to get over their own crap. And they don't understand why they're just getting the crap kicked out of them this election and can't get any traction. They just don't get it. This video is of Kamala Harris. She was swearing in a committee that the Biden administration put together to work on improving education for our Hispanic citizens. This is just a part of the speech that she gave right before the swearing in. And she refers to a comment that her mother, Shamla, used to make to her and her sister all the time. I wish my Irish mother was as kind about the things that she used to say. Her comments were a bit harsher, but Shamla used to tell Kamala and her sister, what do you think? You just fell out of a coconut tree? Kind of a kind statement. Well, the Republicans thought they had something here. They really did. They edited this down to just a statement, and they have distributed it to their bigots, and their bigots just went wild with it. And it's gone viral all over right-wing social media. And they don't understand why they're bleeding people from their own movement. This is let me show you the original, and I'll give you some idea of the kind of things that they're doing with it.
Everything is in context. My mother she would give us a hard time sometimes, and she would say to us, I don't know what's wrong with you young people. You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?
All right, let me stop it right there for a second. She's intentionally impersonating her mother. The right-wingers thought they could take this, edit it down, and tell their bigots, this is how Kamala Harris talks all the time. This is her. No, this is her mimicking something her mother said. And you understand the mentality behind it. You understand the bigotry behind that. And it was done by this guy. It was done by this guy. This is Dinesh D'Souza. He's the same guy that brought that movie 2000 Mules. The distribution company that actually distributed his crap conspiracy movie has actually pulled it and had to apologize because it was just so full of crap. And this guy, of all people, this guy, Dinesh D'Souza, he's a convicted felon that was pardoned by Donald Trump. This guy, of all people, just absolutely picks at that bigotry scab, the racism scab, all the frickin' time. That's what he does. He understands how small and simple-minded these people are, that they could take a message from this guy, and just because it feeds their bigotry, never question the fact that he's the guy that's feeding it to them. But yeah, and I've got to tell you, this is just, it's gross. It's ugly. I can't play it with audio, but you heard the audio from Kamala Harris herself. They dub her voice in that one little section when she's mimicking her mother and what her mother used to say. And then they dub in music over that, and I can't play it because we intentionally got a strike, a copyright strike on purpose to show you the Little John video. Found my old Texans jersey. Thank you very much. When he played Turn Down for What at the convention. So yeah, I can't play the audio for this, but you don't need the audio to understand what's being said and done here. It's really freaking disgusting. Yeah. I mean, do you really think? Yeah. You know, you can't hear it, Tracy. I didn't play any audio on purpose because it's got music over it and I can't get another copyright strike. That's what I just explained. But yeah, you don't really need the sound to understand the racist ignorance that was. Folks, like Mad Dog Pack. I love Mad Dog Pack and the billboards they're putting out, but they just put this billboard out, and this is a message you're seeing all over social media right now. It is an outreach to MAGA women. We can vote Kamala and nobody will know because your vote is private. Folks, I see so many people, and I'm just going to say it, wasting their time and money. Don't reach out to MAGA. Don't reach out to MAGA women. That's MAGA women. I just showed you what they are. Folks, people that live in areas that like myself that are areas that have a lot of Trump supporters in them, we know the women are no better than the men. They just aren't. They're just as racist. They're just as nasty. So, we have 67 days to the election. Yeah, let's not waste time on MAGA women. And again, I just want to throw out there this one thing. One of the staple emails that I get is from people every time I say this, every time I tell you people, you are better people than they are. I will get an email that says, don't say that. Don't say we're better than they are. That's just like them pretending they're better. We're not pretending. I'm not pretending. I am dead sincere. You are better people than they are. That video I just showed you is who they are. They're just nasty, nasty people. Don't waste your time on outreach for them. But yeah, we've got the Kamala Harris interview. She did a great job with that. Before we get there, I just want to throw a thank you out there to Marty Russell and Dave. I got the Kitty Town coffee. I appreciate it. This is the vanilla. They sent me a vanilla and pumpkin spice. The reason I don't have the pumpkin spice is I have wrecked the pumpkin spice. folks, treat yourself. Treat yourself. There are small roasters all over the country, and it's not expensive. And this is, I mean, phenomenal, especially if you like flavored coffees. This is just phenomenal. It really is. It's phenomenal. Um, but yeah, there are these small roasters that are doing amazing. I don't know what it is about coffee, folks, that just brings out the best in people. When you're with a coffee crowd, it's always good people. And there are all over the country. There are these small artisan roasters doing amazing things. This is Kittytown Coffee, folks, and what they do. What they do. They support the Loving Care Cat Rescue directly on their website. It's called Kittytown Coffee because originally with their cats, and they worked to help support, cat rescuing cats, and they do good work. It's just not. They're out of Lebanon, Pennsylvania, and not only do they, make a great product, and it's an artisan roastery. They're small, they make small batches of roasted coffee beans. It's not like a huge, massive thing, but they actually do good work. This is the Loving Care Cat Rescue that they help support. You got to love it, folks. You just got to love it. You just got to love it. So yeah, treat yourself, folks. If it's not Kittytown or something like that, and treat yourself. There are these small artisan roasters all over and it's not that expensive. Is it more expensive than a corporate off the store shelf? Yes, but if you're going to treat yourself, you can really get. This is their webpage. This their Instagram. You gotta love it, man. If you're a cat person, you just gotta love it. But yeah, if it's not Kittytown or something like that, treat yourself, folks. Be good to yourself. You are better people. You hold yourself to a higher standard. Our audience, full of professionals. We are global. We have people here from Europe, from Africa, from Australia. Uh, Treat yourself. Take care of yourself. You're good people. You deserve it. You just deserve it. But anyways, I didn't mean to get off on a tangent about that. I was just really grateful. That's big bag, isn't it? Sent me 2 big bags of it. And again, I don't have the pumpkin spice bag here because I have wrecked the pumpkin spice. I've been drinking it for 2 days. Oh yeah, and the Vote Enough is Enough website gone live, baby. It's gone live. I'm going to pull it up here in a little bit. Let's get to the interview. Kamala Harris kills it. Just killed it. Dana Bash and CNN are trash. They really are. Dana Bash knows better. She knows better. It is not the job. It is not the job of a journalist or a news show to simply repeat unfounded attacks. It isn't. You give validity to those attacks when you just repeat them. And that's exactly what Dana Bash did. I mean, they just what a wasted opportunity. You asked Kamala Harris and Tim Walz to respond to unfounded bullshit attacks from the right. Several of her questions were just wasted on that crap. But I got to tell you, Kamala Harris and Tim Walz are fantastic at this. They really are. I was pissed watching this. My neck was red. I would have said some really harsh. I would have gone neck deep in Dana Bash's ass for some of these questions. I would have. I would have just torn her a new one. But they were professional. Well, look at the way they carry themselves. Look at how, I mean, just I'm eating this up. It's very different, a very different style from Joe Biden. It's incredibly different from Donald Trump. John, thank you for the support. I appreciate you. Thank you for the support. But yeah, it's just a great response. This is how they opened it up.
Vice President, Governor Walz, thank you so much for sitting down with me and bringing the bus. The bus tour is well underway here in Georgia. You have less time to make your case to voters than any candidate in modern American history. The voters are really eager to hear what your plans are. If you are elected, what would you do on day one in the White House?
Well, there are a number of things. I will tell you, first and foremost, one of my highest priorities is to do what we can to support and strengthen the middle class. When I look at the aspirations, the goals, the ambitions of the American people, I think that people are ready for a new way forward, in a way that generations of Americans have been fueled by hope and by optimism. I think, sadly, in the last decade, we have had in the former president someone who has really been pushing an agenda and an environment that is about diminishing the character and the strength of who we are as Americans, really dividing our nation. And I think people are ready to turn the page on that.
So what would you do day one?
Day one, it's going to be about, one, implementing my plan for what I call an opportunity economy. I've already laid out a number of proposals in that regard, which include what we're going to do to bring down the cost of everyday goods, what we're going to do to invest in America's small businesses, what we're going to do to invest in families, for example, extending the child tax credit to $6,000 for families for the first year of their child's life, to help them buy a car seat, to help them buy baby clothes, a crib. There's the work that we're going to do that is about investing in the American family around affordable housing, a big issue in our country.
You get the idea. You get the idea. Just, she took that. Yes. And thank you, Steve. I appreciate you for saying that. I appreciate you for saying that. Dana Bash was very condescending in this and literally just verbatim, word for word, repeated bogus attacks out of the Trump administration. That's not your job. That's not what you're supposed to do. When someone makes a false allegation, you don't just repeat that. When somebody takes something out of context or an attack like that, you don't just say, well, here's this attack, respond to it. No, you're not supposed, that's not journalism. That's not news. I have to tell you, this wasn't the worst interview I've ever seen, but there were several questions that were just, like the one to Tim Walz. They took a statement that he made out of context, implied that he said things that he did not say. And she turned around and she gave validity to that. It's crap. It's crap. But I've got to tell you, I've got several minutes of responses here that they just did an amazing thing. She tried to, and again, here, the way she frames this question, it's her job to tell you that, well, the Trump campaign said they had a great economy, but the numbers tell us, no, they did not. That's not what happened. Instead, listen to how she frames it.
You talked about, you call it the opportunity economy. You are well aware that right now many Americans are struggling. There's a crisis of affordability. One of your campaign themes is we're not going back. But I wonder what you say to voters who do want to go back when it comes to the economy specifically, because their groceries were less expensive, housing was more affordable when Donald Trump was president.
Hold on. Are you going to try to convince me that Dana Bash doesn't know that the entire economy was shut down? That even the most powerful corporations, like, say, I don't know, Walmart, couldn't get product on their shelves? Yeah, gas prices were $1.80 a gallon, $1.90 a gallon here, and they're $2.70 a gallon now. But I wonder what the difference is. Oh, yeah. The economy's open. Businesses are open. She just says this as though it's true, and it's not true. The economy, housing wasn't cheaper, gas wasn't cheaper. We were in crisis. Everything had collapsed. And she knows it, but she just frames it this way and gives that talking point from the Trump campaign as though it has validity, and it doesn't. But listen to the way Kamala Harris responds to this. She just did an amazing job with this interview. She really did.
Well, let's start with the fact that when Joe Biden and I came in office, during the height of a pandemic, we saw over 10 million jobs were lost. People, I mean, literally, we were all tracking the numbers. Hundreds of people a day were dying because of COVID. The economy had crashed. In large part, all of that because of mismanagement by Donald Trump of that crisis. When we came in, our highest priority was to do what we could to rescue America. And today, we know that we have inflation at under 3%. A lot of our policies have led to the reality that America recovered faster than any wealthy nation around the world. But you are right. Prices, in particular for groceries, are still too high. The American people know it, I know it, which is why my agenda includes what we need to do to bring down the price of groceries. For example, dealing with an issue like price gouging, what we need to do to extend the child tax credit to help young families be able to take care of their children in their most formative years, what we need to do to bring down the cost of housing. My proposal includes what would be a tax credit of $25,000 for first-time home buyers.
Sorry for interrupting this. I do, but this is a great comment from Courtney here. Yeah, we just had news break in a congressional investigation. They have found out the executives over at Kroger have admitted, yeah, we raised our prices well over what inflation demanded. We went well beyond what our costs would justify. Kroger just admitted to price gouging.
Buyers, so they can just have enough to put a down payment on a home, which is part of the American dream and their aspiration, but do it in a way that allows them to actually get on the path to achieving that goal and that dream.
And that last part, Republicans are actually saying that a government program that will provide a $25,000 check when you close on a house to help you with the down payment is a bad thing because houses are too expensive and it will drive up the cost in housing markets that are already high. No. In markets, California, for instance, California. Let me just dig into this and explain why that is such crap. And again, Dana Bash, complete missed opportunity. You could have talked to the American people and explained things to the American people, but you didn't. You didn't. Katie Carajo says, is it possible for these people to tell the truth? I think they can't. I don't think they can either, Katie. I don't think they can either. I think they're too wrapped up in trying to get clicks that they forget it's their job. Folks, it's my job. The support you give me here, I take it as though I have a responsibility. It's my job to tell you, look, this is not going to do what the detractors are saying it's going to do. They're saying, oh, it's just going to drive housing costs up even more. No. The homes in the highest markets are selling for millions of dollars. Low-end homes are selling for $500,000 to $1 million. A $25,000 credit is not going to move the needle in those markets. It's just not. But if you're a first-time home buyer and you're trying to come up with a down payment to qualify in those markets, oh yeah, $25,000 helps. It really helps. And more than that, in bubble markets that have burst, folks, DeSantis's policies in Florida just have blown my mind. You know, you had hurricane after hurricane hit Florida. You've got more coming in now. This, we're going to see another hurricane hit Florida before the season's over. You have houses from 2 hurricanes ago that aren't repaired, that are just sitting on the market with tarps on their roofs because they attacked immigration. Guess what we need immigration for? Guess what we need immigrants for? And yes, they skirt our broken system, and Republicans wouldn't let us fix it because they wanted the problem, not the solution. Immigrants tend to be younger, and they tend to take jobs in construction. And Florida's been decimated, and their housing market bubble has burst. Many parts of Florida very much need incentives to slow that fall, just like they did with inflation. You know, the soft landing. They understand, folks. They know how this works. They know how this works. You have people, they put together really, really smart people. And this $25,000 incentive, which is just going to be one policy, it's not the whole, housing crisis solution. It's one policy, helps. It's a good start. It's a good start. And Kamala Harris did a really great job of taking a lousy question and saying, okay, look, let me give you some information. Let me tell you what's really going on here. But I have to say, one of the things that I really dislike the most, and I want to frame this way. During the interview, Dana Bash went back to 2019 to find policy positions that Kamala Harris took, and she threw those in her face. This is 2024. This is half a decade later. People's policies change based on what's going on the ground. When Kamala Harris had her policy positions on fracking, like many of us did, hey, man, we've got to put the brakes on this. We are seeing problems. We didn't have a Green New Deal. We hadn't made any inroads. So, yeah, her policy positions evolved. We've done a better job of monitoring fracking. So her policy positions evolved. But look how Dana Bash, look at this attempted gotcha. ET, spot on. Yes, the homeowners insurance market is a freaking disaster. We desperately need a Democratic administration and a Democratic Congress both so that we can pass legislation to really help Floridians are in really bad shape as far as insurance is concerned. It's skyrocketing. That is one of the complex situations. Thank you, ET, for bringing. I love you people so much. I do. You understand the complexity of situations. And God, it's so nice to talk to somebody who's not a freaking moron. But yeah, this was a gotcha about fracking. And watch the way she frames this. Is this helpful? I mean, is this helpful?
Get some clarity on where you stand on some key policy issues. Energy is a big one. When you were in Congress,
where you stand. And then she talks about where she stood, not where she stands, where she stood.
Supported the Green New Deal. And in 2019, you said, quote, there is no question I'm in favor of banning fracking. Fracking, as you know, is a pretty big issue, particularly in your must-win state of Pennsylvania. Sure. Do you still want to ban fracking?
No, and I made that clear on the debate stage in 2020, that I would not ban fracking. As vice president, I did not ban fracking.
And I love that Kamala Harris said this. And again, I'm sorry for interrupting these videos, but it's important. She did an amazing job here of reminding Dana Bash. Yeah, I answered this question 4 years ago, but yeah, let's go ahead and talk about it again.
As president, I will not ban fracking.
In 2019, I believe, in a town hall, you said you were asked, would you commit to implementing a federal ban on fracking on your first day in office? And you said, there's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking. So yes. So it changed in that campaign?
In 2020, I made very clear where I stand. We are in 2024, and I've not changed that position, nor will I going forward. I kept my word, and I will keep my word.
What made you change that position at the time?
Well, let's be clear. My values have not changed. I believe it is very important that we take seriously what we must do to guard against what is a clear crisis in terms of the climate. And to do that, we can do what we have accomplished thus far. The Inflation Reduction Act, what we have done to invest, by my calculation, over probably $1 trillion over the next 10 years, investing in a clean energy economy. What we've already done, creating over 300,000 new clean energy jobs. That tells me, from my experience as vice president, we can do it without banning fracking. In fact, Dana, excuse me,
I love that she intentionally, that was intentional. She intentionally screwed up her name there. That wasn't an accident. I love that was a little passive aggressiveness right there. I loved it. She also, I love the fact that Dana Bash kept trying to do this and just threw a straight out attack from Donald Trump at her about the whole, well, now she's black thing. Kamala Harris's response to this, I don't have a video for it, but you can go back and find it. It's going to be viral. It's going to be everywhere. Looked Dana Bash right in the eye and said, next question. Didn't even give it the time of day. I loved it. Loved it. I loved it. Brian Peachy, you have to keep your foot on the gas. America needs to lead the world's democratic countries. A strong America makes for a safe world. Again, to our European and international audience, that's not bragging. It's not. We're not trying to be, oh, we run everything. It's just a simple fact that just militarily, we spend more on our military than the next 26 nations combined, and 25 of them are allies. Yeah, it's important that we be democratic, and that's what they're trying to say there. It's important that we lead with decency. It's important that we not be assholes like these Republicans constantly are. That's what they're saying there. Rob Sheffer says, I found you on Hal Sparks, Mega Worldwide. I love Hal Sparks. I really do. He's a great guy. If you ever get a chance to sit down and talk with Hal, just leap at it. If you get the chance to see a Nerd Halen concert, leap at it. This guy's voice, you have no idea watching Hal Sparks Mega Worldwide how this guy can sing, the talent he has. It's incredible. Anyways, I can't rave about Hal Sparks enough. I found you on Hal Sparks Mega Worldwide, and I'm so glad I did. You are my new favorite show to watch, and I haven't missed one. Always look forward to Texas Paul from Detroit, Michigan. Michigan in the house. I'm telling you, we're not just nationwide, we're worldwide, folks. I'm telling you, you got to get into the live chat here, especially on YouTube. Get into the live chat. There are great people here from all over the place. There really are. But moving on, yeah, Kamala Harris killed it. Kamala Harris killed it. She did. She did a great job. And I got to tell you, liquefy that and feed it right into my veins. I need that. I need that for the next 4 years. I need somebody that speaks normally. Someone that and kudos to her. A quarter of the way through this interview, I was hot. I was yelling shit at Dana Bash on the television. I'm going to have to work on that, because if I ever decide in the future to run for office, I can't be doing that. But yeah, well done. Well done, Kamala Harris. Well done, Tim Walz. Good job knocking a lot of that crap down. I appreciate it. We've got an update on a story that we already covered, but it is so bad it's worth going back and looking at it. Yeah, it just keeps getting worse with these people. It just keeps getting worse. You know, we talked about the Trump campaign and their stunt that they pulled of wanting to set up this whole Afghanistan thing because they've got this narrative that their MAGA people cling to. You know, when I was talking to, I sat down and talked to Colin Allred, and it was a one-on-one conversation. We're talking, and he's like, you know, we're really working to reach out. We're really working to, and I just told him this. I said, you know, man, you're trying to reach out to people that aren't sitting there saying, hey, you know, that Colin Allred's a smart guy. That Colin Allred, he's no radical. Maybe I should figure out what he's trying to say and what he's trying to do. That's not who these people are. They're sitting breathlessly, looking at their phone, watching these crappy MAGA, you know, Telegram channels. We're going to talk about Telegram later on in the show. You know, looking for awful, hateful things. They're not looking to understand your message. They're looking for their excuse to hate you. Someone to tell them, hey, we're bigots and it's okay. Now, I don't mean to be a Debbie Downer about this whole outreach to Republicans things. And I will tell you, Kamala Harris's interview was not perfect in my book. It wasn't. That was a great interview, but it wasn't perfect because I will tell you, she got put in a position by Dana Bash, who asked her directly, will you put a Republican in your cabinet? And Kamala Harris didn't really have an answer prepared for that. So she said, oh, yes, we'll put, I believe in differing opinions and differing points of view. No, there is nothing wrong with an all Democratic cabinet. It will serve America well, and it will serve Republicans also. And Republicans are crap. Why would you want to sit and listen to one? Show me, somebody tell me a Republican worth listening to. I can't find them anymore. I can't find them at all. And you know, people keep saying this. People that say this, and I appreciate you. I'm not throwing any smoke or fire your way, Liz or Adam. Yeah, I would invite you to go listen to Liz or Adam speak on policy. They will horrify you. Horrify you. Yeah, no, we don't need a Republican in the cabinet. We just don't. You know what? There you go. There's one that somebody threw out there, Schwarzenegger. But my question is, Schwarzenegger now? Or Schwarzenegger when he was governor of California and absolutely shredded regulation and caused so many of the damn forest fires and fires that they have now? That Schwarzenegger or the Schwarzenegger that found decency now? Because I don't even consider him a Republican anymore. Have you listened to the way the man talks? He sounds like a Democrat to me. Eisenhower is from another era and one of my favorite presidents. Again, I use him as an example of how someone can be deeply flawed and still end up doing amazing things. Eisenhower, born in Denton, Texas, retired. He had a chance to go to Gettysburg. Highly recommend it. It's incredible. It is incredible. Miss Expo isn't a history junkie like I am. She is not. But even she was like, wow, I'm just awed at the Gettysburg battlefield. The reason I'm mentioning that in Eisenhower is Eisenhower so loved the history of Gettysburg. When he retired, he bought property that butted right up against the Gettysburg National Park there. And that's where he built his house. Yeah, when he left the military, he actually moved to Pennsylvania. He didn't come back to Texas. But yeah, Eisenhower was a fantastic president, did a many amazing thing. But you know what? Ask somebody from the Hispanic community about Eisenhower. Ask him about Operation Wetback. Yeah, not a perfect man. Not a perfect man. But yeah, I'm getting off the point. That was my one criticism. Let's move on. The Arlington National Cemetery story it's managing to get worse. It is. It's just they didn't give Trump a shovel, they gave him a backhoe to keep digging. It's just, first of all, they're really trying desperately to change the narrative. Trump he's a narcissist. He cannot claim responsibility for anything that's gone wrong or anything that's gone bad. We'll let them say it all in their own words and then go back and recap it.
Today, when asked about his role in this week's incident at Arlington National Cemetery and his campaign capitalizing on the images of Section 60, Trump tried to reclaim the narrative yet again, but it didn't go so well. Should your campaign have put out those videos and photos?
Well, we have a lot of people. We have people, TikTok people. We're leading the internet. That was the other thing. We're so far above her on the internet.
But on that hallowed ground, should they have put out the images of those?
I don't know what the rules and regulations are. I don't know who did it. And it could have been them. It could have been the parents. It could have been somebody.
It was your campaign's TikTok, though, that put out the video.
I really don't know anything about it. All I do is I stood there and I said, if you'd like to have a picture, we can have a picture. If somebody did it, this was a setup by the people in the administration that, Trump is coming to Arlington. That looks so bad for us.
Oh, wait. Wait. Trump today, when asked about his role in this week's incident at Arlington National Cemetery and his campaign capitalizing on the images of Section 60, Trump tried to reclaim the narrative yet again, but it didn't go so well.
We're going to run through this one more time. Sorry about that. I muted it because I was gulping on my coffee, and I'm sorry. We're going to run through this one more time, point by point. First of all, the reason it didn't go so well is because this is a journalist standing in front of Donald Trump. This is the way the news is supposed to work. Listen to her questions. Listen to what she says. This is the way it is supposed to be done.
Should your campaign have put out those videos and photos?
Well, we have a lot of people. We have people, TikTok people. We're leading the internet. That was the other thing. We're so far above her on the internet.
But on that hallowed ground, should they have put out the images of those?
I don't know what the rules and regulations are.
Okay. We have a lot of people, the TikTok people, and this. Yeah, your campaign put out illegal videos. You have a family that is very upset right now because when you wanted to go do your photo ops, you didn't just break the rules and go do the photo op with the family that works with your campaign. This family works with their campaign. They have been pushing this narrative from day one that somehow this was Joe Biden's fault. They have worked with the Trump campaign from the beginning. They didn't just shoot in front of their family members. That Gold Star family didn't just shoot in front of their family members' headstone. They shot spread out in front of other people's headstones. One of the families is highly upset. They do not support Donald Trump. And their Green Beret son was used as a prop. They were highly pissed off and offended. And yes, Trump set this all up. Then we're going to get into the denials here in just a second. But him pretending he does not know the rules, oh my God, no, that's not how Arlington works. If you're going, they tell everybody, they tell from the bottom to the top, these are the rules. This is hallowed ground. They take this very seriously, and Donald Trump absolutely knew he was not supposed to do this.
I don't know who did it. And it could have been them. It could have been the parents. It could have been somebody.
It was your campaign's.
Love it. It was your campaign. She did not let him get away with that bullshit. Corporate media all over the place lets that happen. Kudos. I do not know who this reporter is, but she's amazing.
TikTok, though, that put out the
I
video.
really don't know anything about it. All I do is I stood there and I said, if you'd like to have a picture, we can have a picture. If somebody did it, this was a setup by the people.
No, that's not how that happened. This whole event was staged because they have a narrative. They screwed up getting out of Afghanistan horribly. It was one of the worst foreign policy maneuvers in modern American history. They ceded the country of Afghanistan to the Taliban, did not work with the Afghan government that we helped to establish. They betrayed them, didn't even allow them in the talks. Then they stupidly didn't talk to the Pentagon. Yes, Mike Pompeo went and negotiated this entire deal on an unmeetable timeline. Had Trump been elected, this would have been a freaking disaster for them because they set this up on an unmeetable timeline. Joe Biden was able to negotiate, 6 more months to get out because it was just physically impossible. They contracted into Kabul, ceded the entire nation of Afghanistan to the Taliban, and the Taliban rolled through it because the Afghan government said, you betrayed us. We're not going to fight these people. We're going to save our lives. So they've tried to come up with this narrative that somehow Joe Biden was bad. And this Gold Star family, much to their discredit, has been 100% on board with this from the beginning. There's 2 of them, actually, that have just been from the moment this happened. Their child died, and they were so partisan, they immediately blamed President Biden for it. And it's just disgusting. But let's finish this off.
People in the administration that, Trump is coming to Arlington. That looks so bad for us.
Wait. Trump is now saying that his campaign's photo op was a setup?
Yes. That is what they're going with. Yeah. No kidding. This whole campaign photo op that they set up because they can get no traction, no narrative. They're getting the shit kicked out of them in this. They thought they would run home to the whole Trump is Biden and they're tying Kamala Harris into this. We're so bad on Afghanistan. Look how terrible they did. This was the whole point of this. The whole point of him being there are now saying Democrats and the media set them up. Yeah. You can't make this stuff up. You just can't make this stuff up. I mean, you just saw it come out of his mouth, And it's getting worse, folks. It's getting, not only do we have this just desecration at Arlington, and I know this shouldn't matter. In a world of equality, this shouldn't matter, but it matters. The Arlington employee that they cussed out and physically put their damn hands on was a woman. It was a woman. These people are all working together for a reason. Birds of a feather flock together. They're all together for a reason. There's the reason the Trump orbit is so freaking disgusting. It's insane. And yes, they immediately, thank you, Pushback, immediately said that because it was a woman, we didn't even know it was a woman at the time, said that she was having, she was mentally ill and having an episode. No, she was doing her freaking job. She was doing her freaking job, and you cussed her out and pushed her. You are freaking disgusting, horrible, lousy people. That's who these people are. And yes, Mike Johnson is the person that greased the wheels of this and got them into. There was no holiday. There was no. When this happened, this was whole cloth made up by the campaign. And yes, the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, greased the wheels for this campaign photo op, and he is just as responsible. He is just as responsible. And the excuses are just worse, man, because one of the things that Arlington Cemetery does for you when you have one of these events, they're good at this, folks. They've done it before. They're good at this. They provide a photographer. But that photographer knows the rules. And that photographer wouldn't do what they wanted to do, which is what led to this whole confrontation in the first place. So this whole claim of we didn't know, and it's somebody in my campaign, there's lots of people, don't blame me, bullshit. What happened to the buck stops here? What happens to responsibility? But you know, it's getting worse, folks. It's just getting worse. Remember, I don't know anything about Project 2025 and never heard of it. And and we proved that wrong because it's just filled with people out of his, the radicals out of his administration. Yeah, Donald Trump just doubled down on Project 2025. We got a small clip here for you. Let me play it for you.
Are you going to fire those generals, the woke generals at the top? Because people been talking
Yes, I would get rid of them. Yeah, but see, now I know him. I didn't know him before. I came in. What do I know? I was a New York real estate person, but no, I'd fire them. I would fire them. You can't have woke military.
Are you going to fire those generals, the woke generals at the top? Because people been talking
Yes, I would get rid of them.
Folks, the whole premise of the 2025 project is they're going to go in and they're going to fire anybody that just does their job and has fealty and allegiance to the Constitution. And they're going to replace them with Trump sycophants that will do whatever the hell Trump says, Constitution be damned. And this isn't the first time Trump has said this. He's been saying this for a long time. So that whole, I don't know anything about Project 2025 is crap. It is complete crap. He has been saying this all over the campaign trail. And where's the corporate media on this? Where is the corporate media on this? This is not something that he just said on Fox.
And somebody that's been with me from day one, he's a real general. You know, we have the real generals and we have the fake woke generals that did so poorly in Afghanistan, should have all been fired. But this is a real general, Keith Kellogg. Right, Keith?
So yeah, he's been talking about decapitating the Department of Defense forever. At just about every rally. At every rally, he talks about decapitating the Department of Defense. Where is the freaking corporate media on this? Oh, well, let me dig up this policy that you had in 2019 that you've changed, that you've already addressed since 2020. Let me go back and see if I can get you a gotcha for that. Meanwhile, Donald Trump is telling you unequivocally, yeah, you know, Maya Angelou told us, when someone tells you who they are, believe them the first time. Donald Trump is sitting there telling you, I'm going to fire the woke generals. I'm sorry, but we have people from the military here. No, it's not a hotbed of wokeness. I mean, I'm woke as hell. I am. I am because Jesus Christ was woke. I believe in doing things. We all do better when we all do better. I anybody that being woke helps me, a middle-aged white guy, because it's my family. It's my family. It's my people. My family members are members of the LGBTQ plus community. My family members are Hispanic and Black. Several of my grandchildren, if you just were to judge them on their looks, look more Hispanic than they do white. That's my family. Of course I'm woke. I mean, for Christ's sake, what is this? We're going to go find generals that aren't woke. I mean, give me a break, people. Give me a break. How many times does he have to tell you that we're going to destroy the Department of Education? We're going to decapitate the military, and we're going to put the Maga radicals, the bigots, in charge of the military. That's a good point. I should do a mug on that. Woke as hell and proud of it. I should do that. Get rid of the woke AF mug and get woke as hell and proud of it. That's a good idea, Linda. That's a good idea. But yeah, I mean, they just keep on digging and can never, ever take responsibility. I got one more video of Trump talking about Arlington. Just the guy never takes responsibility. Forgive the commercial. Make sure I don't get
those incredible parents and sisters and brothers. They asked me to go yesterday to Arlington, and I did. And while I was there for a long time. It was very tough to get to because I was not in a good position to get there. It was very far away, but I did. I made it I got there right on time, and I spent a lot of time there. And while I was there, those families that asked me to be there, as they said, 3 families plus one soldier who was horrifically injured, both legs and an arm. And they asked me if I would be there. So I went.
Okay. He blamed the families. Wasn't my idea. I wasn't trying to be there. It was your campaign. Your campaign's been doing this forever. This was your attempt to change the narrative. This was your attempt to go right back on offense. This was your campaign, dude. Stop trying to blame the Gold Star families just because they've been part of your campaign and support you. You can't lay this on them. This is you.
And while we were there, they said, could you take pictures over the grave of my son, my sister, my brother? Would you take pictures with us, sir? I said, absolutely, I did. And then I said farewell. I said goodbye. And last night I read that I was using the site to politic, that I used it to politic. This all comes out of Washington, just like all of these prosecutors come out of Washington. They all come out. They send their prosecutors into the DA's office. They send them into the Attorney General's office. These are bad people we're dealing with.
You get the idea. They set me up. They said it wasn't me, just because I was going to be there. And, had this worked and had the narrative changed and everybody started attacking Kamala Harris for Afghanistan, it would have been totally my idea. But since it blew up and, everybody's horrified by how horribly we acted and disrespected veterans and just because it didn't go well, wasn't me. It wasn't me. Could you imagine if it hadn't happened, if his people hadn't been who the hell they normally are, disrespected the place, and they had succeeded in changing the narrative? Oh yeah, it had been all Trump. It would have been his idea from top to bottom. You know, that's a load of crap. I'm sick of hearing from the guy. Just sick of it. ET, thank you for this reminder for folks. It is less than 10 weeks until the general election. Make sure your voter registration deadlines. Florida is October 7th. Make sure when your early voting starts and stops, make sure to go and vote. That's a great segue. I have for you a look at we got vote. Enough is enough. Up and running, folks. You folks funded it. What we did was we took 10 of the most contested races. We pulled everything together. These are must-win races to either hold seats or take seats. We've got them broken down between the Senate and House. And it just looks fantastic, doesn't it, folks? You've got Colin Allred, and it's what these are links that will take you directly to their campaign website where you can donate and volunteer. It's got everything for you to register and sign up. Didn't see the need to just duplicate everything, the work that they've already done. Taking a nod from Colin Allred there about being efficient. But we've got Colin Allred, Laura Gillen from that is trying to get rid of D'Esposito in New York. It says California up there. We're going to fix that. Laura Gillen is in New York. We got Adam Gray out in California, Kirsten Engel in Arizona, Dr. Amish Shah. We're going to fix that. I'm sorry, Dr. Amish Shah. I apologize. Didn't mean to. There's no disrespect intended. He is a cardiologist, brilliant guy running in Arizona. We got Marie Glausenkamp Perez up in Washington State, which is definitely a must-win. Sherrod Brown, we got to keep Sherrod Brown and John Tester. Debbie Mukersel Powell. The reason I put her here, she has a real shot. There is some serious shifts going on in Florida. Florida is in play, 100%. In it shows that, Florida is really in play. Florida is really 100% in play, and we need to support Debbie and get Rick Scott out of Congress. Lucas Combs is about. He is fighting hard. His job, but doing an amazing job. He is a really fantastic guy. I am hoping we can get enough Sorry about that, folks. We had Hurricane Beryl come through, destroyed our 5G network here in Texas. It repaired it in some of the cities. Not repaired it everywhere. It is a problem. It is. We're doing the best we can with what we've got out here in the sticks. This is Greg Abbott's Texas. Sorry about that. But yeah, we've got Colin Allred. I don't know if you've seen the polling for Colin Allred. He's in a day. He tied with Turtles right now in Texas. He keeps gaining more and more and more and more. It's fantastic. It is fantastic to see what Colin Allred's been here in Texas. But yeah, check out voteenoughisenough.com. It lets you focus on important must-win races. Bottom, you have a link to vote. It's amazing work for people to check voter registration online. It'll take you to vote.org directly, which is really easy. You just let you know right there and there. if you're, but I would suggest folks don't rely on online services. All right, you still with me? Still with me? Went to our backup system. It runs a little bit slower. But again, the cell networks have just been destroyed. Sorry about that. Sorry about the blink out. We've got Republicans that run this state. So, yeah, even though it's been almost 2 months since Hurricane Beryl, they haven't fixed everything yet because nobody in the government stands over them and makes them do what they're supposed to do. Maybe a little lag in this one. This is our backup system, doesn't run quite as fast. But yeah, they're everything we've talked about with Trump, everything that we've talked about with the problems with Donald Trump, it's got real world consequences, folks. It really does. It's got real world consequences. You know, our military is having a hell of a time meeting recruitment quotas. They are. They're really having a hell of a time meeting recruitment quotas. And then you just had the Trump administration who just blatantly uses members of the military politically. You know, I don't know about you, but I'm not recommending to my kids. I used to my kids and grandkids, I would say, hey, look, if you're not 100% sure where you want to go with your career, where you want to go with your education, do a hitch in the military. I would. I say, you're a smart kid, do a hitch in the military. You may like it. You may want a career in the military. But at the very least, you'll earn some benefits towards college. I don't tell my grandkids that anymore. I don't. I don't trust that Republicans aren't going to use them. I mean, we saw the war in Afghanistan. We saw the war in Iraq. Iraq was purely political by the Bushes. And what Trump, thanks for the support, Gene. I really appreciate you. But what we've seen out of Trump and this entire politicization of even Arlington Cemetery, hallowed ground. That makes it really hard, folks. We've gone from 16% of the population that has said, you know what, I'm considering a career in the military, or at least joining. If not a full-time career for the rest of my life, at least serving. 16%. Folks, that's dropped to 9%. 9%. And that's directly on Republicans. Directly. It's important. It is real. There are real-time consequences. Well, look, there's been an update on the whole Pavel Durov thing that's happened with Telegram. Folks, if you ever see a link that says, hey, join Texas Paul on Telegram, yeah, it ain't real. It's fake. It's a scam. I've never used Telegram. It is a horrible site. It is horrible. It is. This guy, Pavel Durov, has now been indicted in France. He is a tech billionaire, and it is sending chills because, you've got Elon Musk is in trouble in Brazil. What it boils down to really simplify this is imagine, a flea market, if you would. Your favorite swap meet. We've got a great one here in Canton, Texas, by the way. It's just amazing. Imagine there was a booth there that was illegal guns, ghost guns, illegal kits to convert your weapon from semi-automatic to fully automatic without the paperwork, illegal silencers. They just sold it right there out in the open. Or there was another booth at your favorite flea market that was, selling drugs. And then there was another booth that had child sexual abuse material and child porn. That's Telegram. That's Telegram. And the authorities from every country have told them, it's there. We know it's there. We're busting people. We just had a guy in Fall Rivers got busted selling drugs. He's accused of selling drugs and guns, brass knuckles. He had a 3D printer shop working right out of Fall Rivers, Massachusetts. Just peddling the stuff out in the open on Telegram. So yeah, they've arrested the CEO and founder of Telegram. Just like they would if it was your local flea market. If your local flea market had a pedophile running a stall in it and the police were busting these people over and over and over again, you had somebody selling illegal drugs out of a stall in a flea market, they would shut that flea market down. That's exactly what this is. Exactly what this is. And then you've got these tech bros, they're saying, free speech, man, free speech. We don't want to be the government stooges. We don't want to be people that do what the government says. Really? Really, dude? There's child sex abuse material on your website. That's not freedom. That's disgusting. That's a crime. And yeah, Pavel Durov is going to go to jail for this. And I'm glad to see the billionaires finally getting some skin in the game. They're talking about shutting Telegram down completely in Europe, which is, I think, fantastic. Shout out to our European members of the audience. I love you people. Thank you for being so wonderful. Thank you for leading the way. We should be doing this here in the United States, but thank you for addressing these disgusting, absolutely horrid things. And I have to tell you, this really did send a chill through Elon Musk and through Meta because, Elon Musk is in really deep trouble in Brazil. They have laws about political speech in Brazil. And Elon Musk just said, I'll say what I want to say. What are you going to do? Well, yeah, they're running him through the court system right now. That's what they're doing. They're going to shut Twitter down. Eventually, I would say probably in the next 6 months, you're going to see Twitter shut down in Brazil, and you are probably going to see indictments handed down for Elon Musk in Brazil. The law is the law, and they're usually there for a reason. Last thing I want to share with you, and this is, I don't know how many hockey fans we have in the audience, but Johnny Gaudreau, 31 years old, was going to visit his sister. He and his brother decided it was looks like this wasn't nefarious or anything like that, but he and his brother Matthew, he's left wing for the Columbus Blue Jackets, was going to visit his sister, went for a bike ride with his brother, and it was stormy outside. It was in between rainstorms. It was 8:30 at night, and he was hit by a car, and he's gone. 31 years old. Life comes at you fast, folks. Life comes at you fast. Love your loved ones. Tell somebody around you that you love them, and spend time with your people, because you just never know. You just never know. Doesn't look like this was nefarious. The driver stopped immediately. It looked like it was a dark night, and it was dark outside. It was stormy outside. There was no bike lane on the highway they were riding on. It looks like it was just a tragic accident. But yeah, folks, I appreciate you. I really do. Thank you for being here. Stop sending the emails that say it's wrong for me to say you're better people, because you are better people. You are better people. But this is what I've got for you today. I'm sorry, we ran a little bit long with the internet glitches, so we're not going to get a roundtable. I promise next show we will do a roundtable. I want to hear your comments, your questions, what you want to talk about. Instead of a roundtable, go ahead and go to realtexaspaul.com. Email me. My email link is there. Tell me what you want to talk about. Tell me what's important to you. We had a gentleman in the chat that was really going on about LULAC earlier. We're going to meet. I've got a meeting scheduled this afternoon with one of the officers from LULAC. We're going to talk about that. That is something. We've got Evil Popeye here in Texas. They've picked on the wrong group. The League of United Latin American Citizens is no joke. And they've gone after an 87-year-old woman here in the state of Texas. And we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. Love you, folks. I'll keep working on that internet connection. I'll make a phone call after the show. Sorry about that glitch. We're doing the best we can with it, but this is Texas. Greg Abbott doesn't get anything done, ever. He's a Republican. Republicans don't work. Love you, folks. This is Old Texas Paul out. Enjoy some Texas cities at night.